welcome back to Uncomfortable Conversations. This is episode 9. Shout out to the new subscribers. If you're not new and you're back, man, welcome back. I appreciate every single one of you. That goes for Muhammad too. He appreciates y'all as well. I'm gonna let him tell you guys what we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah, today we got a special guest. I've actually known Isis since like middle school, right? Since something like that. And she was, born and raised in Colorado, like the rest of us here. And now you're in Vegas.
Yes, I live in Vegas now. It's been 2 years. Yep.
Yeah, 2 years in Vegas. I bet that's really nice, actually. And you're getting your art degree, and you have a pretty interesting little job portfolio that we want to get into. What really made me want to do this podcast, I mean, it's been a while, actually. I think it's been a while but we just wanted to find the right time. We wanted to make sure that we were like able and had the capacity to really speak about this and like understand it. That's really the most important part. So not only are you like a corporate receptionist, you're also a dancer. You also sell art pieces. You do a little bit of everything. So let's get straight to it. Where does this start? Where did you decide to move to Vegas and do your own little thing?
So basically, I was kind of fed up with Colorado Mountain College, in Glenwood Springs. I was done with Colorado pretty much. I wanted a fresh start, and my mom also wanted the same. And so we decided to move out to Vegas because she's been eyeing Vegas for a while. So we moved out together, separately but together. So I have someone here, that's with me. Just a fresh start. I always wanted to go to UNLV, which I started at Nevada State, but now I'm at UNLV. So I'm happy. It was just more to just see a different side, but not anything dramatic, because I still wanted to stay on the west side, not like East Coast, things like that. So just a new
vibe.
Yeah.
And so like, when did you start? Was it dancing that you started first, or was it selling your art and creating your art?
So I actually started first. I had 2 jobs when I first moved, actually 3. I was working at the library at my school, and then I was camming. So I was going into a studio actually camming, and then I was working at a sex store. So I was doing some pretty, it was pretty interesting. Librarian, sex store, camp. So I started that, and then, because I moved right before the pandemic happened, like a month before. Right. And so right when the pandemic happened, the sex store job closed, and my library job, they moved to just online, and that was like really part-time. And so the camming studio job, it was amazing, because it's like I was doing it from a studio, and I ended up doing it from my apartment, just because I didn't want to drive to the studio every day. But it was funny because my manager was like, everyone that didn't want this job now are like, applying and wanting this job. And she's like, and it's too late because all the spots are filled. So I kind of got at a good time when, clubs were closed and dancers needed to work, and that's all they wanted to do was camp. So I was already in there. So it was great. It was my main job.
Yeah. I mean, and then so camming, I mean, we have a pretty wide audience. Some people might not know what that is. Some people might have an idea and still not know what that is. So what is that? What was the job?
So it can entail from anything, because you have all different customers. So some want you to talk to them regularly, do nothing, but most of them, they want a companion. So it's kind of like it's virtual sex, basically. I don't know. You have how much more to describe it. You can put they'll ask, can you do that? If you don't do it, if I don't do something, I say no, easy. But some others, they're more broad. Oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. I was just pretty simple, laid back, and yeah, you're getting paid per minute
Per minute.
per minute, per minute. Yeah, so it was nice. It is a lot of waiting around. I would say a good, like, depends on the traffic, 30 minutes. Sometimes one time I waited, I think, like 45 minutes until people started coming into like my chat room and actually being serious. So it is a waiting game. You can spend about, I usually spent like 4 to 5, maybe 6 hours a day, just, yeah, with camming. And that's what I would hit my goals each day because I knew what I wanted to make for the week.
Right.
So you have to really be, diligent, and it takes, you need to go into work, like you can't just be like, it's the same as any job. So
right.
give yourself, yeah.
And I bet like hella confidence is like what's needed. Like you can't
definitely
be shy.
Definitely. You can't be like, on your phone, because people can view you and see what you're doing, and you don't want to do anything crazy, but like if you're looking uninterested, they're not going to come into your room. So at least what I would do I would paint. I would draw and paint, and they'd be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? What are you working on? So it was just a conversation starter.
Right. So I think my question is, and then I'll pass the mic to Mo. Okay, like when did you say like, yo, I can do this? And you were like physically, mentally, spiritually, like, yeah, I'm confident enough to do this. I'm not like afraid. There's a lot of weirdos out there. There's like family and your private, like keeping that private life and public life. It gets hard, you start to mix. So when did you realize, or like, what was your mindset going through that?
So with that, always knew I was more of like a outgoing sexual person, like in my being, but I had tried to like hide that. No, I'm gonna do this route, do this, like I'm gonna go get my business degree, things like that.
Right.
But I had finally come to realization, like part of me moving here was that I'm not that person. Like I'm kind of everywhere. I want to do everything. I want to try it all. And so with that being a job that was out here, I forced myself. I said, go to this interview because you want to. And so I did, and I ended up loving it. It was hard because my mom, she didn't know what I was doing. And so like, she was just like, how is she making her money? Like, how is she buying these things? Like, it just didn't, add up. And one day I was like, I need to tell her, because we didn't have a close relationship, I would say necessarily like the best growing up. But in this past, I would say like 3 years, we have been so tight. And so I decided, I was like, Mom, what do you think I do as a job? And like, I had her kind of tell me, and she thought it was one thing or the other. And she was like, I'm actually glad you told me. Like, thank you for telling me that. And at first, because my mom was very close-minded, like conservative, really, no. But also since moving out here, she's been very open-minded. She is so supportive of me and everything I do. All my friends are very supportive. If they're not, like, then clearly they're not my friends. So it was hard because I was like, oh, like they're gonna think something, just different things. But you gotta get out of your head and be like, I'm doing this for me. I don't care what anyone else is doing. No one's paying my bills. I'm doing it. I'm living my life, and I'm happy about it. So it was a journey.
Mo, I know you're, go ahead.
How do you view your fan base? I know that you probably run into some weird people. In that line of work, what's the weirdest thing you've encountered, and how do you view your fans?
Okay. They range from all over. You do have your typical, some of them are just businessmen. Oh, I just need, quick someone to talk to, things like that. But then you also have the ones that are, yes, into some very interesting kinks. Like one guy, I didn't do it, but he would just like talking to me. They were like, you're very, you're easy to talk to. I just like being in your chat room. He was interested in like being stepped on. Like he felt himself as a bug, like small, very small. And he was just like stepping on him. Yes, it was odd. And I was like, is there a porn for that? He was like, yeah, you know, they use CGI. Like, it's very, I was like, wow, okay. So I just view them as different individuals. There are some kinks I do not tolerate or do at all. That's just no, but everyone that is in, I would say, my fan base, they're pretty normal. Some have their weird kinks, and I'm just like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, depending. But yeah, being crazy, or I don't attract crazy.
And is there a way like they, you know, your job keeps you safe, like, you know, like addresses and stuff like that? Is that something that they do?
Yes. So camming through the studio, even doing it from home, because it's through them, and the site itself, they actually can alter your IP address. Okay. So basically, if someone tried to hack and get into that, they don't know where you are. It is sent through, a whole different connection, things like that. Also, certain states you can have blocked. So unless their IP address is changed, you know, they can't view you. They won't see you at all. So I had certain states where I have a lot of family change because I was just like, I don't need questions, you know. Not that I wouldn't tell them, but like they don't need to know. I don't talk to them like that. And it would be kind of a two-way, why are you on here? You know? So, but so they do keep you safe. Don't ever give out your name. You don't give out personal details, things like that. Yeah. And so I would have fans, because they knew I was in Vegas. That's if I told them. And certain ones that were my regulars, they're like, oh, I want to send you things. So I have a P.O. box for that. And put it under the name that I would cam under. And so that's up to each cam model though.
Okay. And so like, okay, so then you became a dancer, right? Yeah. What was like, what was the difference? Like, you know, was it like, okay, this is easier, this is harder, this is, you know?
So I do find it easier. I'm a private dancer. I have worked in like different clubs before, but I find private dancing to be what I like the most because we only work weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sometimes she might ask us, my manager, like, oh, there's a party, do you want to work, you know, on Tuesday or something? And it's up to you to decide whether or not. I just find it easy because you know that, especially different from a club, because you know that they're there for you. They booked you, you know, you get the money. It's tailored to you versus in a club, you are going around asking, you know, 20 to 100 different people you want to dance. And you might not be their preference, you know? So at least with the private dancing, you know that they are there for you. And unlike camming, you're not waiting around. So I'm on call from a certain time to a certain time, and then boom, that is it. So it's nice. I have a lot of free time, which leads me to why I became a corporate receptionist, because I have too much free time. And like
too much.
Too much. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like even when I go to run errands, I'm like, okay, that took one day out of the week, you know? Right. And so I became a receptionist because, I mean, my job is pretty simple, especially at this company. And they allow me to work on my art, do my schoolwork, things like that. So I'm very happy. It's actually at a strip club. I'm a corporate receptionist. So during the day on the other side of things.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And so do you get like, I mean, from your friends and like people you meet, like people like that are trying to get into this workforce, what would you tell them? Like, you know, what it's built for some people, it's built for others, or is it like welcoming for everyone?
I will say you do have to be in the right mindset. You do have to be in the right headspace. You can't be like, oh, well, I want to do it because my friends do it. That is not a good answer because your friends aren't going to make you money. You're going to get into the club or wherever, and you're going to need to work, you know? And so a lot of people do it because they're friends. And even one of the girls I work with, she was like, yeah, I didn't like dancing. I did it because my friends were there. And she was like, and then I soon had to realize that's not a good enough job. I didn't feel good. I I was like, exactly. You just have to be in the right mindset. You do have to hustle. I will say that it is a hustle. And if you're not ready or prepared for that, I wouldn't do it. But yeah, if you're confident, you know you're going to make your money. You can't be like, oh, why is she making money? No, you need to be like, we're all bad bitches and we're all gonna get this money and I'm gonna go make my money. You know, that's how you have to look at it. Uplifting of others, not putting anyone down, but just, you know, go out there, make your money. Yeah. Just know how to talk. Good conversation.
Yeah.
That will way.
Definitely gotta be an outgoing person.
You know? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You can't be reserved. But yeah, it doesn't matter skinny, fat, you know, it doesn't matter size, how you look. Everyone has a preference. You just need to, yes, be that confident person because it will exude off you.
Because everyone you ran into within your industry have that mindset where it's like everyone's trying to uplift each other and bring each other up, or you have to deal with like the outliers or the people that are competitive and like, no, this is for me. Like they're looking at it as like, you know, like this is a business and you're basically competing with the other people that are trying to step on your money.
I deal with both. I will say that. And like, I would say, yeah, they don't know the difference between being a kind, uplifting person and then being, you know, because you can be both. You can be both. But there's no need in being, you know, catty and name calling, oh, you took my money, things like that. No, there's no need for that. Like, you're just a bitter person at that point. And it's like, maybe you shouldn't be doing this job anymore because clearly it's affected you. I don't know. So I deal with both, but I try to stay away from the ones that are just focused by, you know, being kind of rude, things like that.
Right.
Yeah, gotta block that out. But yeah, no matter what industry, what job you have, you're gonna run into those people that just try to bring you down.
That's true. I mean, it's really nice to see that like you found something that like comforts your like, you know, I feel like our generation is really fucking like that 9 to 5. It's not that no more. It's remote jobs. It's like making your own business. It's doing your own thing. I mean, you're really just looking for jobs just for because you're bored, you know. It's not even like you need the financial gain.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no. And then that leads me to like art because a lot of those who were my regulars buy my art, which is so nice. And they're like, oh, yeah, send me this, send me that. So that's who I'm primarily selling my art to at the moment, which is good because that's another stream of, you know, income.
Right.
But definitely I'm working my way up to get to where I want to be, and that's selling art. $1 million a painting, you know, that type. So I'm gonna get there.
I know, we see it, we really see it. I mean, yeah, like thank you on my side. I don't have any questions. Mo, if you got anything you want to say, anything, your audience, he has like a deep audience that might have some questions.
I did. I made a post like 30 minutes ago, but no one, I didn't get any interactions. But I have a lot of like viewers on my channel that they're probably wondering if you're familiar with what NoFab is or the NoFab community or just like.
NoFab?
NoFab.
I don't.
So in short, what is that, like, Mo?
So basically, it's a community of, it's like it exists in the manosphere. So it's like a bunch of like, I wouldn't say like complete self-improvement because there are some people that are like very addicted to porn, and then there's others that are purely doing it so that they can, I guess, get rid of one of their vices and try to like approach life in a way that they can start getting out their comfort zone and start doing things that are better for them. I don't know what kind of questions they'd have though, because I made a post and no one dropped any comments. But yeah, they probably would have been curious if you knew.
Or there'll be haters, you know, like just like hating
because
on.
there's a left and there's a right to that community. Like there's people in that community that'll be like, they look at sex work as completely evil. And have you ran into someone that's like, yeah, like very conservative about it and is like,
oh
I
yeah.
so I mean, there will be like, okay, like I think at the end of the day, it comes down to free will. Obviously, like someone can go into whatever industry they want to do, whatever. But if you're against it, I mean, it comes down to your choice of whether you want to indulge in that or not. You know, everything comes down to you have control over yourself at the end of the day.
Exactly, because it's gonna exist regardless. You just the choice whether to interact with it or not. So
yeah, I think a lot of my viewers understand that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Okay. Nope.
I mean, you know, I think, you know, we're short on time, so I don't want to take too much of your time as well. But honestly, thank you. This episode was like something we've been always trying to find a way into. And then we were just like, literally, I think like last week I was on the phone with him. I was like, man, we got to just do this, bro. You know, we have to just do this. You know, whether our audience isn't ready for it or whether they are, it doesn't matter. Because this is things like people, you know, talk about on like a daily basis. The content of OnlyFans and private work is everywhere, and it's only gonna be everywhere. So for those people that are like looking at this and like, oh, why are they speaking on that? So you can understand. And for those that don't, you know, it really doesn't matter to us. Our whole concept is getting different perspectives, opinions, lives, you know, and just, you know, this is a normal conversation you can have like at a coffee shop. It shouldn't be so uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Isis. Means a lot. We appreciate it. If you want to promote any of your work, just send it to me and, you know, we'll put it in the little description. And your artworks, we're still trying to get that on 2020. I've been, you know,
Yes.
I've been trying to, I think like a couple of years now, just trying to get at for this, these little art pieces.
I will. We'll
yeah, now I have you on like little hostage, so you got to. But other than that, we really appreciate it on my side and Mo too. So stay safe, really.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you. This was great. You guys are fun, easy to talk to. Thank you.
That's the point. If anyone you know, watching this wants to come out and talk about any topic, let us know. Be sure to subscribe. Check out. Go ahead.
Post notifications, drop a comment down below, hit that like button.
Yeah.
Thanks again for coming on, and appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone that tuned in today. Stay tuned for episode 10.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Isis.
Thank you.